Hey, welcome everybody. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. It is Thursday, February 18, 2021. And lots of excitement today. Our friend Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon, the one and only, will be calling in or Skyping in, perhaps. I think he plans on Skyping in at 4:30 today for his weekly entertainment report. So if Scott Robinson is listening, and I hope he is, please, Scott, have your pen and paper ready for those Amanda McCarthy tour dates. Let's see. Meanwhile, if you would like to call, you can. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Of course, we are live on WMNH 95.3 FM, also on Comcast 97 if you happen to be in Manchester. Otherwise, you can stream the show at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. It's still looking a little wonky on my computer, but it does appear to be working. I think I'm seeing everyone's comments. Which is the most important thing, that I can see your comments. So there you go. And, of course, also you can go to mattconnerton.com. You can get access to the audio stream there and leave comments there as well if you would like to. And you can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can opine and interact on the Facebook. But the best thing to do, give us a call, 603-250-6007. Let's see. Of course, I want to remind you, and those of you watching online, you can see I've got my Hopknot shirt on. We are proudly sponsored by the Hopknot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. And they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. And it is Thursday, which means Thursday is trivia night. Well, which means it is trivia night. Obviously, Thursday is trivia night. So there you go. Make sure to support our wonderful sponsor and all of your favorite local businesses. But what's great about the Hopknot is great food, great service, great family that owns and operates it, and they do everything very safely there. The staff is masked at all times. They do clean and sanitize consistently and so forth. So that's one of the reasons we're very proud and honored to have them as a sponsor. Let's see if you, I'll give the number again quickly because obviously once Eazy-G calls, well, the nice thing is if Eazy-G Skypes in at 4:30, that leaves the phone line open. So you can, you can call in. You might have questions for Eazy-G, or you might even want some love advice, even though Valentine's Day is behind us. Oh, Jenny just posted in the Facebook live chat, and this looks like a copy and paste from the Hopknot's Facebook or Instagram. It's Thirsty Thursday tonight from 7 to 9. We've got the one and only trivia night here to help you unlock all the useless knowledge you have stored in your head. Get here early to cash in on some happy hour deals before the game gets started, and make sure you call ahead to reserve a table for your team. Very, very nice. Thank you, Jenny, for sharing that. And that is, of course, happening this evening at the Hopknot. Let's say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon, is in the chat room. He is a top fan. And he says the Fisher Cats are back. More details at 4:30 p.m. Yahoo. Brian Mackey, all the way from Idaho, joins us in the chat room. Hello, Brian. Abigail Jem says, hi, folks. Hello, Abigail. Angela Philbrook is a top fan and says, good afternoon. Angela, from what I understand, just recently attained top fan status. How very exciting. Rocky Huber, also a top fan, says, "Hi, everyone. Can't wait for the wrestling report with Amanda McCarthy dates. I did not realize that Amanda McCarthy was now wrestling as well." I don't know how safe that is in the COVID era, although Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has said that wrestling is an essential business. The Honorable Heidi Hamer joins us and says, "Good afternoon, Matt." Hello, Heidi. Haven't seen you in the chat room in a while. Eazy-G has Skype. Wow. Yes, Heidi is very impressed. Perhaps Eazy-G will Skype in on his tablet that was purchased for him by Brian McKay. But I won't hold my breath on that. I'll tell you what, it does seem like, by the way, that I'm starting the show earlier than, the show starts officially at 4 p.m., but my intros are shorter now because now that Trump is no longer president, I just don't have as many fun and exciting song parodies to play. But we did play that couple of songs about Cancun. Well, a song about Cancun and then a song about Ted Cruz. Apparently, Senator Ted Cruz decided to get out of Texas. I assume he's not very acclimated to the cold. You almost can't blame him, although apparently he did issue a statement saying he's headed back to Houston. So he was just accompanying his children. He didn't want his children were going to Cancun, and he didn't want them to be unaccompanied minors on the airplane. So perhaps we'll come back to that. Yes, Brian Mackey says someone got him a tablet last year. Yes, someone perhaps. I believe Brian McKay is who Eazy-G credits with that. I don't know, though, if Eazy-G, if he's been able to use his tablet yet. You know, he did go to Cricket Wireless, and they told him it was going to cost him money, apparently. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get the full update from Eazy-G. I have no doubt. About that. Wayne Noel, who is a top fan all the way from Michigan, also joining us in the Facebook live chat. And Tom Blanchard says, "Don't be afraid to goof on Biden." Yeah, just Biden is he's not as easy to pick on. He's not the walking, talking cartoon character that our 45th president, Donald John Trump, is. Melanie Feddersen joins us. Melanie says his plane tracker is being posted on Facebook so people can track his flight from Cancun. Oh, very nice. Wow. Yes. We must know where he is at all times. Well, according to Mediaite, Ted Cruz releases statement on his trip to Cancun amid power crisis in Texas. He says here, Senator Ted Cruz has released a statement regarding his flight to Cancun amid a severe power crisis in his state that has left millions without water or electricity. On Thursday, today, after speculation regarding Cruz's trip was confirmed and the senator was absolutely destroyed by Twitter users, the Texas politician took a flight back to Houston. Cruz has since released a statement explaining that he was merely dropping his daughters off in Mexico and was always planning to return home the next day. CNN's Betsy Klein took to Twitter to share the statement. Let's see. So here's Ted Cruz's official statement. This has been an infuriating week for Texans. The greatest state and the greatest country in the world has been without power. We have food lines, gas lines, and people sleeping at the neighbors' houses. Our homes are freezing and our lights are out. Like millions of Texans, our family lost heat and power too. With school canceled this week. Oh, sorry. Let me, I can't quite see the whole thing here. I had to click it. I'm glad I wasn't doing an official dramatic reading. That would have been embarrassing to have to stop in the middle of it. With school canceled this for the week, our girls asked to take a trip with friends. Wanting to be a good dad, I flew down with them last night and am flying back this afternoon. My staff and I are in constant communication with state and local leaders to get to the bottom of what happened in Texas. We want our power back, our water on, and our homes warm. My team and I will continue using all our resources to keep Texans informed and safe. What a great dad. He wanted to make sure his daughters got to Cancun safely. A lot can go wrong on an airplane. It reminds me of when I was a kid, my parents divorced when I was very young, and my mother moved back to the Midwest. She was from Chicago originally, and she moved back there. And I would spend the summers out in Chicago with my mom. And so at the beginning of every summer, my dad would bring me to Logan Airport, and he would get on the plane with me, fly to O'Hara Airport in Chicago, and then take a flight back by himself just to make sure I got to Chicago safe. I'm kidding. No, my dad didn't get on the plane with me. That's absurd. Why would he do that? That's bizarre. No, he would take me to Logan Airport. At that time, you couldn't get a direct flight from Manchester to O'Hara, at least not without it costing a bundle. No, he would take me to Logan Airport. He would put me on. He would make sure I got on the plane safely, and then he'd go back to his car and drive back to New Hampshire, and I would fly to O'Hara Airport. I would beg him to go with me, of course, because I'd be terrified, to fly. Of course, no, I'm kidding. I would just, no big deal. I was what was called an unaccompanied minor, and I would fly to O'Hara Airport. But apparently, Ted Cruz's children, they're. You know what it is, I'm sure. They're just so darn precious. You can't leave them unaccompanied or unattended on an airplane. So much could happen. So much can go wrong. What a great dad he is. Do I sound skeptical? Yeah, a bit. I mean, look, people did point out on Twitter that, he didn't have apparently his original plane ticket was, it wasn't, there was no return flight to Houston booked, only the flight to Cancun. And somebody noticed because, see, the reason this got out is people were taking pictures of him at the airport. And apparently he had an unusual amount of luggage with him for someone who was just going to fly to Cancun and then turn right around and fly back. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what, though, so lucky that trip, the vacation that his daughters were taking that, it just happened to be during this whole debacle in Texas. Very convenient. Oh, well. Whatever. At the end of the day, first of all, this will blow over quickly. No one's going to be, this isn't like a huge scandal that's going to bring down Ted Cruz. People will forget about this pretty quickly. This is a minor thing. This will blow over. But my personal favorite Ted Cruz airport story is when, it was a few years ago, I think, he was posing for a picture with a constituent at the airport, and he was completely oblivious. He had no idea. This was pre-beard and pre-board before he got onto the airplane. Pre-board and pre-beard. See what I did there? I actually think the beard works for him. Oddly enough, the beard makes him look like a liberal college professor. I don't think don't tell him that. He'll shave it off. It's best that we not see his entire face. But, so Ted Cruz, he's in the airport, and somebody asked to take a picture with him, and you may have seen this, and this person was holding a sign up that with like an arrow pointed toward Ted Cruz, and the sign said on it, "Texas deserves better." And Ted Cruz is just standing there smiling because, he had no idea. It was great. Anyway, but this shall pass. And what is going on in Texas shall pass, but apparently not without great cost. Brian Mackey, the great Brendan McCormick out in the hallway there, that's who I was waving to for those watching online. Brian McCormick says he looks like a chipmunk. He does. He does kind of look like a chipmunk, that Ted Cruz. Texas, it's really incredible. I've been learning a lot, as we all have, I think, over the past few days about Texas specifically about how their power works. And one of the things that we've learned is that at one point, they came perilously close to the entire grid going down, the entire power grid in Texas going down. Melanie Feddersen says Biden is also in Cancun. I'm just kidding. He made sure Texas had additional generators and blankets. Yeah, it came perilously close to being far worse than it already is in Texas. But they're going to have to really make some changes to how they do things in Texas. El Paso, Texas is an area, and apparently is it Beaumont County? There are places in Texas that are still on the national power grid, not on the Texas power grid. Look, I'll give credit where it's due. What the state of Texas accomplished, effectively making themselves energy independent with their power grid. And also they do have some green energy there. They have some windmills and solar as well. But they still rely primarily on fossil fuels. And they were able to do that, or the reason they did that, the primary motivator for doing that is they didn't want the energy industry in Texas to be subject to federal regulation. So they decided that they were going to set out on a path where Texas itself would be energy independent, and then they wouldn't have to, if they're not dependent on the federal power grid, then they don't have to worry about federal regulations. And given that Texas is obviously a big oil producer. I know that. I used to watch Dallas growing up, the Hewings. It's impressive, actually, mighty Texas, what they've been able to do. And we got into it a little bit on the show yesterday about, Governor Greg Abbott, who decided to take this moment to rail against green energy, making these public comments about, well, see, this is an example of how devastating the Green New Deal would be, because, we've got frozen windmills and the solar energy doesn't work when the sun's not out and this and that. When in reality, most of Texas still relies primarily on fossil fuels. Green energy is only a fraction. Now, it is a part of the system there, but it's only a fraction of it. A lot of these natural gas lines have frozen and so on and so forth. So it's not true what Greg Abbott is saying and what other Texas Republicans are trying to put out there. But here's what is true. There's either one of two things have to be done in Texas going forward. Either they have to acknowledge that climate change is causing more severe weather, which I think the data bears that out, right? And they need to do some things to alter. Actually, they can do one of three things, the way I see it. They need to do things to better protect their infrastructure, their energy infrastructure, because apparently one of the things that I've learned and that we've been learning from this experience about the way it works in Texas, they have an enormously efficient, they're very, very efficient in terms of energy, in terms of generating power and whatnot. And may in some ways be a model for how the rest of the country should be doing it. Except there's no backup. In other words, they're so efficient that the power that they need is created as needed, but there's no backup for anything. So when something like this happens and you need, I don't know all the terminology for how this works, but because they're not on the national energy grid, they can't draw power from anywhere else. They're entirely self-sufficient, which again is impressive, but they can't draw power from anywhere else. So they need to, I guess, do one of three things, right? They need to figure out how to either be better prepared for bad weather, for severe winter weather, and work on fixing that aspect of the Texas power grid, right? Or they can ditch this whole thing, which is what some people are saying, is they need to ditch this whole philosophy of we need to be energy independent from the rest of the country and we need to get on board and go back to being a part of the national power grid just like the rest of the country is. Or the third option would be to do nothing and just hope that this never happens again. Now, were it not for climate change, I would say option 3 might be an okay way to go. Because we've never seen anything like this on this scale. The problem is, on this scale in Texas, the problem is, because of climate change, this may happen again. Who knows? It may happen a lot. We don't know. But we've never seen anything like this in our lifetimes that I know of, that I'm aware of, in Texas. The most we've seen as far as severe winter weather is, I said this yesterday on the show. I said, it seems like maybe, I don't know, every few years during the winter, you might turn on the news and see something about, there was a storm, there was a sudden winter storm, or maybe some ice in Houston or Dallas or somewhere else in Texas, and it caused some problems, and there was a pile up on the highway, because they're not used to winter weather, so they're not prepared. Nobody there has snow tires, certainly. They're not out salting the roads. They're not prepared for that kind of thing, right, in Texas? So, yeah, every few years you might see some sort of weather event during the winter in Texas that people weren't prepared for, and it causes some issues, and then the next day everything melts anyway, so it's temporary, and they deal with it, and that's it. It's like, oh, well, I'll be damned. Look what happened in Texas, and that's the extent of it. This, however, and I feel very badly for them. This has been, it's not like, well, a storm moved through the state and dropped some snow, and then everything went back to normal, and it's back to, 60 degrees in February in Texas like normal. No, this was, a storm came in and dropped enough snow and enough ice to cause millions of people to lose power throughout the state, except in El Paso and Beaumont County, where they're still on the federal power grid. So this storm comes through, and temperatures plummet to what for us, like here in the Northeast, certainly perfectly manageable, but in a state like Texas, where they're not used to that, temperatures plummet and stay there for days. What they're experiencing in Texas has been going on for days. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've never seen anything like this in Texas happen before. So were it not for climate change, I might be sitting here saying, well, you know what? They probably need to figure out how to be better prepared for things like this in the future, but probably no rush, because what are the odds of something like this happening again this winter, or even for a very long time? This is such a crazy fluke, what's happening in Texas right now, that, yeah, it's awful, and I feel terribly for them, but I wouldn't scrap this whole thing of, where they're completely off the national power grid and on their own. It's probably fine. They probably don't even have to do much to prepare. But because of climate change, this might be the beginning of, a series of events in Texas that they're going to need to be prepared for. I mean, look, in a perfect world, I would say they just need to do what they need to do to just fix it within Texas. I think it's cool that they're not dependent on the rest of the country's power grid. I admire that, to be honest with you. And that they do have a mix of not only fossil fuels, but also green energy. And hopefully, over time, they begin to, although it is Texas, so maybe this is unlikely, but hopefully they incrementally move further and further away from fossil fuels and have more and more green energy. That's what I'd like to see. But it's really disgusting to me to see some of these politicians in Texas try to say that this is a case against green energy. No, it isn't. This ain't anything like it. This is, you got gas lines freezing. That's got nothing to do with green energy. Yes, you also have ice on windmills. I get it. But that's not the crux of the issue here, guys. Brian Mackey says, is it a fluke or a sign of things to come? See, that's the thing. Were it not for climate change, I would say, you know what? Probably a fluke. But I believe that is Eazy-G. Let's see. Eazy-G, is that you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Did you say yes?
Yeah, I can see you. Yep. I can see myself.
Oh, I can see your arm. Your enormous arm.
Yeah, well, it's really hot in here. So
there we go. Now, if
like 80 degrees in here.
Now, people can see you online if I move to the right place. But
all right.
Yeah. How are you, Eric?
Oh, not too bad. Hanging in there.
Hanging in there. I bet you're glad you're not in Texas.
Yeah, I know. What a mess.
What a mess. What would you do if you were in charge in Texas? What would be your solution, Eazy-G?
Sure, I'd be turning some tables over.
You'd be turning some tables over. Right.
The things were good for the good Lord years ago.
That's right. Yes. I believe it's the one incidence of violence perpetrated by our Lord and Savior in the Bible when he walked into the temple and the money changers were selling things. And he said, not in my Father's house. And he turned over some tables.
Something's got to be done. That's a big mess. People without power. It's cold and they have no water, and it's just a disaster.
It is a disaster, Eazy-G. Can you even believe it? Do you think it's a fluke?
No, they gotta fix that.
Yes.
That's not good.
Yes.
Wow. I picked my hair, but oh well.
Right. Yes. You got to fix your hair.
Oh well. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, that's what President Trump.
It's a big breaking news I want to get to as soon as you play my music.
All right, well, let's hit it. All right, here it is. This is the intro music for Eazy-G's Entertainment Report as we all are quivering with excitement and anticipation. Here we go.
He was once a thug from around the way. Easy.
You want to know about stock market crashes, COVID-19, drive-bys, celebrity gossip? Eazy-G's gotcha. Entertainment Report style.
That's why I'm easy. 'Cause ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, set, go.
By the way, Eric Street says Texas prevented LeBron from getting 3 rings, 2007, 2011, and 2014. And Miriam Banish also joins us in the chat room. My goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a big LeBron James fan, as you all know.
Well, I didn't know that. Why is that, Eazy-G?
Because at the time he stiffed everybody in Manchester. They paid full price for that preseason game, and the Celtics used to come to this new arena.
Uh-huh.
And he set the bench the whole game. It was him and his Cleveland Cavaliers versus Paul Pierce and the Celtics, and he did not play.
What should his punishment be? We should send him to Texas.
They said he was tired, but it's funny, the next night he played like 25 minutes in Cleveland. So
really?
He didn't want to play.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Now, I have a question, Eric, before you go any further. Are you Skyping on your phone or on your tablet?
Oh, I'm still having issues with my tablet. I got to go back to the phone. I got to go back to the phone store and figure out my password. Everything else is working, so if I can't get the password to figure out, so I'm going to go there next week.
So, what was that?
I was just tapping my glass.
Oh, okay. Wow. Ding, ding, ding. All right.
Yeah. Start of the report. It's February 18th, and we're going to dedicate to 3 people today. I think I dedicated this lady before, Dolly Parton, who just celebrated her 75th birthday recently.
How old is Dolly?
75.
75. Wow. Dolly Parton.
My friends Jessica and Joshua just had their second baby, Josiah, on the 15th of this month.
What's the baby's name? Messiah?
Messiah, G-E-S-I-A-H, a baby boy.
G-I-S-A-H?
And one more time, we'll dedicate it to the one and only Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh. Now, why are you dedicating your report to Rush Limbaugh, Eazy-G? Very
nice, that lady that called. I won't repeat her name, but...
Elizabeth Robb?
Yeah. I'm happy she's dead. I couldn't believe she said that. Shame on her.
Right. So you're upset. So you're now feuding with Elizabeth Ropp. You have
Just calling her out. That wasn't very nice.
A terrible feud. Yes.
If she's listening, that's not nice.
That is.
But anyway, moving on. The Fisher Cats are back.
The Fisher Cats are back.
Texas Mike sent me a Facebook post. They're going to have the season opener May 11th versus the Yankees. And, of course, the mask going to be mandatory. And I'm assuming social distancing. And tickets are going to be going on sale March 15th for single games for the season. For the May season. And you can call 603-641-2000. 2005 for ticket information. And May 3rd is going to be their first game on the road versus the Portland Sea Dogs. And soon they'll have some pocket schedules available at the ballpark. And I believe GIR will be doing all the home games and the away games this season because they've always done their games in the past. And hopefully we'll hear from this guy. He's not working as far as the Monarchs anymore. And maybe he'll do some games. Ken Kale.
Oh, no, Eazy-G. I just got a text message from Elizabeth Ropp. She also hates the Fisher Cats.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the first year. Last year I did not go to a game because the season was canceled, and that was the first time. And I believe this is their 14. 14. This will be their 17th season of ferocious fun. And the streak was over last year because there was no games.
Ferocious fun? Is that what you said?
Yeah, there's usually their tagline. I don't know if it is this season, but I bet it will be.
Oh.
They have it all over the
Greg in Canton, Ohio, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Welcome, sir, to the EIB network.
Have you ever been to a game, Matt?
What kind of game, Eazy-G?
Yes.
I have not. I'm not much of a sports fan.
Yeah, I noticed
Mr. Bush was not the only prominent Republican for whom yesterday's poll closings granted.
A friend of mine used to be a big Fisher Cat fan, but now he says, I don't know anybody that's playing, so he's not interested.
Uh-huh.
Like I always say, like he always tells me, I don't have to go if I don't want to, so he doesn't go.
Right.
And that's the end of that.
I want to thank you for appointing a pervert.
Yeah, there's big news about the NBA. They just changed their mind. And there will be an NBA All-Star game on a Sunday, March 7th.
Wow, very nice.
And as always, if you want to get some good gift baskets and cheese and pasta and wine, this will be the takeout too. And the Angela's Pasta and Cheese over 815 Chestnut Street. And they also have sells food at the Bookery on Elm Street.
I just hope there's some extra sharp cheddar, Eazy-G.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, for embracing our enemies and snubbing our allies.
Yeah, say candy shop on Elm Street. I'm assuming they'll be having some Easter stuff coming in the next couple of weeks.
Easter stuff? Like Cadbury cream eggs?
Yeah, probably, yeah. They always, they have ice cream there, too, year round.
I used to love Cadbury cream eggs when I was a kid, and now as an adult, the very thought of eating one makes me want to vomit in my mouth.
If you're still interested in getting some Girl Scout cookies, they'll be on sale to the end of March, and you can go on you can go on Grubhub.com and get information on that.
Hello to Jeremy Wadley in the Facebook live chat.
And Mr. President, I would love to thank you for your arrogance.
Jeremy,
because arrogance is part and parcel.
Jeremy Wadley in
of
the
an authoritarian
Facebook
leader of a regime.
Yeah.
So excuse me.
Dunkin', you can get a free coffee every Monday, so it's one more Monday, the 22nd.
Uh-huh.
Get a free coffee with your app at Dunkin'.
Wow.
And President Joe Biden on February 23rd, which is coming up around the corner at 9 p.m. to go the unofficial State of the Union address. So all you Joe Biden fans.
Joe Biden fans. Hello to Mike Pelopita in the Facebook live chat. Mike Pelopita's from Queen City Cabinetry, Eazy-G. You can bring your kitchen to life.
I heard that.
Yes.
And I believe they're still taking the poll for the best of Hippo. And the voting is going to hippopress.com. You can check that out if you're interested. Oh, yeah, I checked with the other entertainment reporter earlier this morning, and he said yes, they are doing the 26th to the 28th of March, Disney's Little Mermaid, but it's a little twist to it. There'll be a live stream. So you go to majestictheater.net or call 603-669-7469, and they still have the Ted Hebert's classes in person or virtually. I believe it or not, years ago, I think I believe it. in the late 80s, I took a drum class or two, a Teddy Rivers class on Elm Street. They're at a different location now.
Very nice.
I want to thank you, Mr. President, for telling everybody that it's going to be double digits as the new norm.
I might be doing this next month. You can call up Majestic Theater, or you can log on to majestictheater.net or call 603-669-7469. You give a donation to the Majestic Theater if you still are interested.
Very nice.
I would like to also thank you, Mr. President, for your divisiveness.
I still having virtual events, and they've taken a pause for live events till at least March 31st. So coming up real soon now is, I believe it'll be next week, February virtual vacation camps with Megan Quinn, Hunter, and friends are putting it on $200 a person. So you go to palacetheater.org, and it's February 26th to the 22nd to the 26th. Grades 2 to 6, 10 a.m. to 1, and grades 7 to 12, 2 p.m. to 5. And you can go more information, and they're going to have also classes you can take on Zoom to learn how to be a better Palace Theater person overall. They're going to call coaching classes, better singing and acting, and all on Zoom.
Oh, very nice.
I want to thank you for helping to destroy the housing market, Mr. President.
Oh, yes, and I got a donation today from someone you know very well, Jenny Coffey.
Oh, yes, we have met.
He gave me a donation, and right now my official total is $1,311. So publicly, I'd like to thank Jenny Coffey for the donation. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Thank you, Jenny. And what is your so what does that bring you to Eazy-G, your fundraising?
$1,311.
Say that again?
$1,311.
Very nice. Congratulations. That's awesome. How can people donate? Remind everybody.
Go to my Facebook page and it's find the Relay for Life post, and you hit donate if you would like to donate, please.
Very good. Very good.
And of
I
course,
would like to
Sunday,
thank you for ignoring the public union pension time bombs waiting to explode out there.
WWE style. It's a road to WrestleMania, and I guess because Roman Reigns is head of the table, he will not be in the Elimination Chamber, but he'll be waiting for the winner of the Elimination Chamber. So it kind of tells me that he'll be hanging on to the belt.
Yes.
If they put him in the Elimination Chamber, the odds are he will not come out of the Elimination Chamber with the belt.
Right.
My prediction: the winner of the Elimination Chamber will be Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Going to fight him again, and he will not win, but he'll give him a hell of a match, because that guy doesn't go down without a fight.
Oh, careful with the H word there, Eazy-G. We don't work blue around here.
I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for mocking
they continue to
and
have
disrespecting the American people.
The thing, I don't know if you heard, Lacey Evans is pregnant, and they're telling everybody that Ric Flair's the father, but guess what? He is not.
Brian Mackey says, when you get that tablet working, you can post links in the chat. Well, someday.
Yeah, someday. Well, someday soon. But anyways,
yes.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that situation with Lacey Evans? She can't wrestle right now because she's pregnant.
Correct. Yes.
But apparently it is not. She is pregnant.
Right.
But Ric Flair is not the father. Oh, my God.
How do you know? We can reproduce well into our 70s, Eazy-G. Don't be ageist.
Everything you read online, you know what they say about that.
That's true.
But most of all, Mr. President, thank you for arousing the sleeping silent majority, because we have been asleep too long.
Going somewhere, yeah, right.
Oh, Mary LeMay says it's snowing outside.
It's very possible. It's supposed to snow a couple inches.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'll be calling Mary LeMay around 5:30. She asked me to call in, so I'll be calling into that.
Cruising with Mary on Channel 23.
And depending on this schedule, you have to look at the schedule. I might be on Norman Friends next week.
Wow, Norman Friends.
I've never been on that show. I think you've been on there a couple of times, right?
I was Norm's co-host for 26 years.
Yeah, I thought. He keeps asking me to come on the show, so I thought I finally take him up on his offer. Oh, boy, will he be sorry.
Oh,
the 10th anniversary.
And Mr. President, I would love to thank you for your arrogance.
April is coming up for the Queen City Cupcakes on Elm Street. Don't forget to patronize them. So tasty.
Yes. I like to patronize them. I sometimes I walk in there and I'm like, oh, I love your cupcakes so much. And they're like, you're clearly being patronizing, sir. And I say, well, Eazy-G told me to.
Yeah. The Grammys are coming up, and they're pushed back because of COVID. They're March 14th, Sunday from 9 p.m. to 11. It's a 2-hour show this year. And it's on CBS Channel 4 and also CBS Channel 4, the American Country Awards.
Yeehaw!
April 18th, and they'll be on CBS.
You like the Country Awards, Eazy-G? Do you have a pair of boots with spurs?
I do not.
No.
Oh, yeah, this event is coming up around the corner. Millennium.com. You can register at .net. It's a paid event, and it's a half race shuffle down Elm Street.
A half race shuffle?
Shamrock Shuffle, yeah, March 27th and 28th. There were no St. Patrick's Day parade, but you'll still be allowed to run down the streets. And that's on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Very nice.
I want to thank you for appointing a pervert as our safe schools czar.
And, yes, and tonight the Bruins are going to be playing against New Jersey. They haven't played in a while. They lost their last game. They weren't able to play on Monday because the team, New Jersey, had too many players have COVID.
Uh-huh.
So they'll be playing Philadelphia on Sunday, and then that's their 2 games for this week. And they're doing very well. They're the best team in hockey right now.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, except not really because I don't know anything about hockey. Never mind what I said about being the judge of that. I'm not qualified.
Very well.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah, and then don't forget to check out Max Apples open all winter over at 250 Mammoth Road in Londonderry. Don't say that. Who says www anymore? I don't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
MacApples.com.
Uh-huh.
Or you can call 303-432-3456 and open every day, except for Mondays, 9 a.m. to 5. You ever been there, the Max Apple stand?
I have not been to the Max Apple stand.
What's Mac Apples? Yeah, farm stand. Yeah, I've been there.
Max, potato. They're all in the Apple family.
Oh yeah, I hope Scott Robinson's listening. Amanda McCarthy dates are coming.
Oh, Scott Robinson, I hope you're listening. It's time for the Amanda McCarthy tour dates.
1 minute. Yep. First, if you want to get a couple of different clothing items, you can go to my friend's website, Abby Curtis. No shipping and handling. They're all handmade right here in Maine. And the website is esty.com/stop at Hummingbird, Maine.
Eric Street says, if you know there are 3 periods in hockey, you know something. I thought there were 9 periods in hockey, or are they called innings?
Yeah, there you go. All right, got a couple of dates for Amanda McCarthy here.
Oh, here we go. I hope you're listening, Scott.
She's playing February 26th at the Belcourt Taps Friday. And she's playing February 27th, Saturday, at Winners Bar and Grill in Nashville, Tennessee. And then she's playing, here we go. Yep. February 28th, she's playing at Hop Springs, Tennessee, and Murfreesboro. That's a mouthful.
Murfreesboro.
Tennessee. And then she's playing March 6th at the Lost Daddy Irish Pub and Restaurant in Nashville.
Lost Daddy.
And she's playing the 27th, take a little break, the BS Brew Works in Springfield, Tennessee.
The BS Brew Works.
And she's playing a couple of dates, but they're in the future, so we'll get to that later.
I want to thank you for seizing General Motors and Chrysler.
Still rocking and rolling. She's got a couple of dates coming up here. I think she's playing tonight, I believe. Let's see here, February. It is tonight, February 8th. Yeah, 18th.
February 18th. The month, it goes so quick. It's a short month.
Saturday, February 20th, and February 26th is playing the Tower Hill Weirs Beach. And then February 27th is playing right here in Manchester, Saturday, the Backyard Brewery and Kitchen.
Are we still on Amanda McCarthy?
No, it's April Cushman.
Oh, April Cushman, yes.
February 19th is playing Friday, the Buckley Restaurant Tavern in Malterboro, New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
And those are the dates right now announced.
What was that?
What?
What was that sound I just heard? Was that a power drill?
A Facebook post.
Okay.
I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for the generational theft that you have committed with all of this borrowing and spending, you have spent the wealth of 2 to 3, maybe 4 generations in the future before they're even born.
Who is that, Matt?
I don't know. Something's interfering with our show.
Oh, yeah, next NASCAR 3 races are going to be NASCAR road race on Fox at Daytona, 3 p.m. in Florida. And then February 28th, they're playing the Dixie Vodka, 3:30 at Homestead, Miami. And then March 7th, the Pennzoil 400 at 3:30 at Las Vegas. So that will be interesting to see what happens, because they had like a 6.5-hour rain delay at Daytona, and they finally get the race out of the way, and it had a big crash with Michael McDonald.
A big what?
Race ever, and it was after midnight. It was a big wreck at the end.
Michael McDonald, the guy from the Doobie Brothers?
Yep, they tend to have a lot of Daytona because they go like 200 miles an hour, and it's very dangerous.
Taking it to the track. Taking it to the track.
Oh, yes.
It's my favorite Doobie Brothers song.
Celtics next 3 games. They haven't done very well this season. I don't know what's going on with them.
I don't know either, to be honest with you.
COVID has disturbed the team. A lot of players end up with COVID, and they're still, one of the players said he's still not feeling 100%, which is not good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're playing versus the Hawks February 19th tomorrow, and then they're playing Sunday against the Pelicans, and Tuesday they're playing against the Dallas Mavericks. So hopefully they're going to get their act together. If they don't, well, it's going to be a long season.
I like how you said that. They're playing against the Hawks. I like how you said Hawks.
I want to thank you, Mr. President, for pushing for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed to stand trial in New York City and receive full constitutional rights at a cost of $200 million per year. I want to thank you for that.
All right.
Are you using your big blue binder, Eazy-G?
We're running out of. The Austrian Open is going to wrap up this weekend, and Serena Williams lost in the semifinals again. A lot of people said that could be her last Austrian Open. Well, she is going to be 40 next year, so she's getting a little long in the tooth.
Long in the tooth.
I think we're ending the entertainment report here. I'm running out of.
Oh no! Scott Robinson has a question. A point of clarification, Easy. Scott says, "Did I just hear that Michael McDonald is touring with Amanda McCarthy?"
Could be Michael. I think I might have butchered the name, but I know his first name is Michael. I don't have the information in front of me, but
right.
Michael did win.
Right. Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers did win. That's wonderful.
I want to thank you, Mr. President, for insulting and endangering Israel.
Abigail Jem joins us. Hello, Abigail. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Eazy-G.
More quick things to wrap it up.
Yes. Wrap it up. I'll take it. Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Say goodbye to the boring nights in. There's all kind of fun things going on there.
I'm going to play that at the break.
You can call 603-232-5597. They are open right now. Or you can go at 550yards.com.
I also like Tough Enough. That's a great song.
To get your flu shot.
It will eventually be too late, Eric, actually. Not to correct you, but...
We were discussing that the other day. My friend of mine, he said, you know why the flu is way down this year?
Why?
Because people are masking up and social distancing, and they're washing their hands.
Scott Robinson appreciates you clarifying Michael McDonald touring with Amanda McCarthy.
That's a possibility. You never know.
They should release a duet.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for the week, and I guess I'll be signing off.
I want to thank you, Mr. President, for exploding the annual deficit to the level where it can never be repaid.
The Peter White Morning Show with Gonzo. He has a big game. I'm going to be on Skype at 8 a.m.
Oh, you're going to be on the morning show with Peter White tomorrow via Skype at 8 a.m.?
And Gonzo's got a big game.
All right. But the thing, though, is not to, be a wet blanket, but Gonzo doesn't always come through with the games, does he?
Yeah, true, but we'll see what happens. You never know with Gonzo. Oh, yeah, and then one last tidbit.
Yes.
11:30 a.m., I'll be Skyping into the Kyle Heavey in the Off the Mark Sports.
Off the Mark Sports with Kyle Heavey.
I want to thank you for appointing a pervert as our safe schools czar.
Your local sports coach from Manchester Skyped in at 11 a.m. So I'll Skype in for the last half an hour. So that will be fun.
Oh, very nice. We look forward to that.
Since today happens to be tax day.
And I might be on the Known with Friends next Wednesday at 4 o'clock with on Channel 23. So it was funny. I just bumped into Norm the other day with his friend, I guess, and at the Hitchcock Clinic.
We have a call, Eazy-G. This might pertain to your entertainment report. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Oh, this is going to be pretty off topic.
Oh, Dave Ridley, do you have questions about Amanda McCarthy tour dates?
No, and I can call back later if it's better to talk about politics later.
Yeah, give us a call in the next hour, Dave.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, you got it. Bye-bye.
All right, I'll sign off because that way you can call back in the next hour or so.
Scott Robinson says, with all of Easy Skyping, Skype is going to crash. Yes, be careful not to overuse the Skype there, Eazy-G.
Yeah, true. That's why I'm going to sign off now, and we'll talk to you another time.
All right, Eazy-G. Thank you for another stellar entertainment report. All right, bye-bye. All right,
bye-bye.
Eazy-G leaves us. Oh, I'm
still on.
You're still on.
I got shut off. Whoops, egg in my face.
You've got egg on your face now.
And
there we go. I hung up for him. All right, it's a little before the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and take our break. I am going to play that. I'm going to play Wrap It Up. Love this song. We'll take a quick break. More Unleashed.
Down in Miami, at the home of Gloria and Emilio Estefan at Star Island, Barack Obama conducted a fundraiser. After he went and lied through his teeth to the people at NASA. Yeah, we're not gonna land on the moon. No, we're gonna land on an asteroid. We're gonna land on an asteroid. Gloria Estefan angered the Cuban exile community in Miami. They don't understand. They thought Estefan, one of them. They don't like Obama's public.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, where I've been told it's snowing. I can't really tell from here, but I guess we're supposed to get a little snow. The weather forecasts that I saw were a bit inconsistent. So I think this particular storm is difficult to predict. It might hit more the seacoast area. We'll see. We're also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Jenny says no snow here. I don't know. No snow on the west side. It's always sunny on the west side, as John Hopwood likes to say. Let's see. Of course, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot. If you're watching online, you can see I've got my Hop Knot shirt on. It is Thursday, which means it is trivia night at the Hop Knot. You can get some delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. I'm going to have to play that pretzel dance song again soon from the Wiggles. That's a lot of fun. I thought about playing it just now, but I didn't want to put too many songs in there, but, Eazy-G did join us earlier for the entertainment report. So we had to hear the Eggman song and the Egg on My Face song. And Will Vegas is in the Facebook live chat. He likes that I played Wrap It Up by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. You can credit Eazy-G for giving me the idea because, he always says, I'm going to wrap it up, going to wrap up the report. And then I think of that song because I love that song. I also love the original, of course, the Sam and Dave version. But, Fabulous Thunderbirds, they had a couple of big hits. Wrap It Up. There's only 2 that I can remember. I feel like there might be one I'm forgetting, but Wrap It Up and Tough Enough were 2 of the big ones. Rob Dion in the chat room is asking, when does Name That Tune start? I believe, when do you start that, Rob? I believe 8 a.m. on, well, wait a minute. Today was Thursday. Did you do that today? You did that today, didn't you? On the morning show? Rob Dion, of course, the entertainment reporter on the morning show, He probably was hoping that Eazy-G, because Eazy-G is the entertainment reporter on this program, that he would do his own version of Name That Tune, which would be fascinating. And yes, Rob, you did miss Eazy-G's entertainment report. No Amanda McCarthy, blah, blah. Can't even get it out. No Amanda McCarthy tour dates for you, Rob. I'm sorry, unless you listen to the replay, of course. Other than that, you're just SOL, my friend. Or you could get in touch with Scott Robinson, because I'm sure he wrote them down. Let's see. But yes, you can call us at 603-250-6007. And don't wait till the last minute, because it is Thursday. We wrap up a little bit early on Thursdays because the weekly Die-On will be up next live at 6 p.m. And, of course, it is the COVID era. So we take a little extra time between shows to wipe down, to clean and sanitize, and so on and so forth. So I don't leave any of my germs for the Die-Ons, Ben Die-On and his father, Daryl Die-On, when they come in to do their show at 6. And sometimes they pop in a little bit early, too, and we chat. Always look forward to that. So give us a call, 603-250-6007. Just don't wait. Do it soon. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And speaking of email, I do have an email from everyone's favorite Trumper, Mike Doyle, who sent me this. And this is on... this is from Politico. Trump's gift to Biden, record agriculture exports to China. So Mike obviously sent this because, he has made his feelings clear. He thinks that I just can't see. I can't understand what a great and amazing president Trump was because I just hate him so much. And I watch CNN. That's what Mike always tells me, even though I don't watch CNN, but that's okay. So this says U.S. farm exports to China are expected to hit a record $31.5 billion during President Joe Biden's first year in office, the U.S. Agriculture Department said in its latest quarterly forecast. That's $4.5 billion higher than the department forecast in November. U.S. farm sales and shipments to China have surged since late last year, most notably for corn, said the USDA. Overall exports to all countries in fiscal 2021 are expected to hit a record $157 billion, up $5 billion from the November forecast. The USDA raised its forecast of agricultural imports just slightly to $137.5 billion. That means the department is expecting an agricultural trade surplus of $19.5 billion. The strong demand from China, which recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic faster than most other countries, helped bolster the USDA's forecast. For the October-December period, exports to China reached a historic high. There's a lot of numbers in here, so we're going to skip down here. So it says here, further down, after Trump began imposing tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars of Chinese goods, Beijing retaliated by imposing duties on U.S. farm exports. U.S. agricultural exports to China collapsed, falling to $9.1 billion in 2018. Now China is once again the export market for U.S. agricultural goods, said the USDA. What's next? The Biden administration is reviewing Trump's Phase 1 deal and the tariffs that he imposed on more than $350 billion worth of Chinese goods. Biden's nominee for U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai, if I'm saying that correctly, could face questions on those topics at her Senate Finance Committee confirmation hearing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know if that, I'm not going to really give, am I missing something here? I guess I'm supposed to read that and go, oh, wow, okay. Trump was a great president after all. I don't know. I don't understand though how this is, I don't know. There's something here I'm not getting. But thank you for sending that, Mike. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Eazy-G, yes, he did a very good job on his entertainment report today. Actually, Eric, I will say this. Eric was very good today. Maybe the Skype thing works out well for Eric. He was very good at listening. Very good at listening, which is unusual, or at least good by his standards. Let's see. This is, I didn't plan on talking about this at all. How much time do we have? Yeah, we got plenty of time. I just happened to see this up on media, and I didn't have a chance to pre-read this at all, but it's just interesting. It caught my attention. Cable news is a dangerous profit model, says ex-Fox News editor Chris Steyerwalt, as he opens up about after his firing. And apparently there's a podcast about this. I'm going to have to listen to this. It says here, Chris Steyerwalt, a longtime politics editor and on-air analyst for Fox News, was fired last month. He hadn't appeared on air in months after the 2020 election, when Fox News was the first network to call the key state of Arizona for Joe Biden, crushing the potency of Donald Trump's attempts to declare victory. Steyerwalt, a member of the Fox News decision desk, went missing from the network's airwaves as Trump led a backlash against the Trump network over the call. He urged supporters to abandon Fox for more pro-Trump outlets like Newsmax and OANN, which sold their viewers on the fantasy that he actually won the election before it was stolen from him by an international cabal of powerful Democrats. The campaign worked to some extent as viewers ditched Fox in droves, driving the network to third in the ratings for the first time in decades. By January, Steyerwalt had been fired by the network. The Arizona call, it should be noted, ended up being accurate. I do vividly remember that, by the way. For anyone who doesn't remember, Fox News, somewhat inexplicably, was the first by a mile, on election night or the next day. I forget exactly when they did it, but they were the first to do it, and they seemed to do it early. I mean, even the Associated Press, which was calling states earlier than anybody, so much so they had to switch one of their calls eventually, hadn't called Arizona yet, but Fox called Arizona really early, and it was strange. And there's a theory that they did it just to prove, look, we're not shilling for Trump. We're calling Arizona for Biden, and that proves it, right? Almost like they were trying to inoculate themselves from some election coverage criticism. The whole thing was odd. But they did turn out being right, as Mediaite points out. So in a statement, Fox News said that Steyerwalt was let go as part of a restructuring in which it, quote, realigned its business and reporting structure to meet the demands of this new era, unquote. By the way, that could be true. There has been some restructuring going on at Fox. Steyerwalt landed at The Dispatch, a conservative website with a fetish for fact-based coverage. Oh, how refreshing. I called him up on Wednesday to talk about the Arizona call, the fallout at Fox News, the cable news landscape, and the future of the GOP as it reckons with Trumpism. So, and they have a link in the article to the podcast itself, which I will listen to later because this does sound interesting, but there's some highlights of what he said here in the podcast. So Steyerwalt said this, quote, and this is what caught my attention: cable news is a dangerous profit model. It has danger in it for all of us because if you aren't willing to tell people what they don't want to hear, then you're not going to be the news, unquote. Steyerwalt described the Stop the Steal movement, which itself was an attempt to steal an election, and a movement he became a target of as the result of, quote, the catastrophization of politics in America. The catastrophization allowed for cynics, well, that's the end of his quote, but the catastrophization, that's hard to say, allowed for cynics who knew the election was actually fair to dupe their followers into believing it was not. So he went on to explain, quote, there's all sorts of ways people could rationalize being okay with stealing an election. The other guys are so bad. It's Flight 93 garbage, all of that stuff, taking rivals and turning them into enemies. The damage there is that it creates a really evil permission structure for what you might be allowed to do on your own behalf, unquote. The thing is about that, cable news, the cable news profit model does, I think, in a larger sense, speaking beyond the election itself and election coverage. The thing about the cable news profit model is it really, what makes it successful is it becomes a chicken or the egg thing, right? Because the way people consume news now, they're very prone to what we call confirmation bias, where people are drawn to news sources that will tell them what they want to hear. This is why conservatives favor Fox News, liberals favor MSNBC, and to a slightly lesser extent, CNN, because these networks are going to tell them what you want to hear. If you're a conservative, Fox is going to tell you what you want to hear. If you're a liberal, MSNBC is going to tell you, and to a lesser extent, CNN, what you want to hear. Abigail Jem, who's a teacher, is asking, is that even a word? I don't know. Well, apparently it is now, although it is in quotes in the article. Christian Lacoste is also in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Christian. And Tom Blanchard is in there as well. I'm not sure I mentioned Tom earlier. And Miriam Banish. But it's a successful business model. See, some people think, too, that the reason MSNBC ended up being as left as it is because of Fox. Because Fox came along and said, we're going to be, this was back in when did Fox go on the air? I want to say 96. When Fox went on the air, they said, we're going to be fair and balanced. And granted, they kind of wink when they say it. Is that even still their motto? But what they also said is, what the Murdoch family said is, we're going to be a counterbalance to the so-called liberal media. And that takes us down a different, if we want to have a conversation about whether that's fair or accurate to use that phrase. But that's how Fox presented it. So we're going to give you news without the liberal slant. Now, some might take that to mean, so we're actually going to give you news from a conservative slant, and that's what I think they've done. All the opinion-based shows on Fox are all hosted by conservatives. Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham and all these people. They're all conservatives. There's not a single opinion-based show. I'm not talking about the hard, quote-unquote, hard news programming. I'm talking about the opinion shows are all hosted by conservatives. MSNBC wasn't always like that. MSNBC had a mix of conservative and liberal hosted shows early on in their existence, but they eventually followed the Fox News model, but from the left. All the shows on MSNBC, all the opinion-driven shows, are now hosted by liberals, except maybe Nicole Wallace. I mean, she did work for the Bush administration, but she seems to have gone leftward herself now. So it's a very successful business model, cable news networks that are opinion-based. But what came first? Are they like that because of the human need for, not need, but, we do seem to be driven toward confirmation bias. It's become this endless cycle where nobody lets any outside opinions or ideas in. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
What's up, Matt? Tony D.
Hey, Tony D. Hooah! What's
up, man? Hooah!
I had to give you one because you didn't. I didn't know it was you at first. I was confused. I didn't hear the hooah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just dealing with all this crappy snow, man. I'm so over this. I'm ready for summer.
Oh yeah, because you get it. You get the storm before we do, so it's already there where you are.
Yes. Yeah. It literally just stopped within the hour.
Oh, okay. So you're at the end of it. How much did you get?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
Probably like 4 inches, maybe 5.
Oh, okay. Not bad then. Enough to make it slippery, I would imagine, but.
Yeah, enough to make the roads a little yucky,
Yeah.
So on what you're talking about, the whole network stuff, and then like having these networks that are like right and left, but they all talk about the negative, and I talked about this probably about 2 weeks ago, and I was saying, and I think we talked about it, how like the networks, they don't pick up on anything positive anymore. They stick to the culture of just voicing the negative that's happened in the country. Like, no one was talking about on what Biden did for Texas, writing that emergency plan and getting all that money. And even though, like, I saw all these memes that were like, even though that they didn't vote for him, he was so quick to sign that bill to get money down to them, to get aid down to them and help them out.
Right.
And like, they bring up the negative still of the guy. And I get it. I get it. It's TV. It's about ratings. It's about, I guess, negative is better in ratings than positive. I don't understand it, but it seems to trend that way.
Yeah.
But, there's like I don't know if you have the Fire Stick, but the Fire Stick has, like, when you go to the news, it has like every news channel. Some news channels you won't even get on like on your cable box,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them have like conspiracy-based networks.
Yeah.
Conspiracy-based networks, and I was watching some of it, and I'm shaking my head, and I'm going, wow, like this is what people are probably tuning into, and this is where it's coming from, and
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the one was that I was watching, but the one was just strictly based on conspiracy and not actually what was happening in the world.
Yeah. Well,
it's go ahead.
Well, I think that part of it, though, is I think I almost I know what you're saying, but I don't know what the solution is, because good news isn't really necessarily news. Like, I mean, when things go wrong, that's news. But when things go right, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you fix that. I mean, obviously you're right, but Fox News certainly isn't going to report on anything good that that Biden did. And to be fair, I don't think Trump did a lot good, but even something good that he did do, MSNBC or CNN certainly wasn't going to, MSNBC didn't spend a lot of time. Like, I'll give you an example of something good that Trump did was when he signed criminal justice reform, the First Step Act. He didn't get a lot of coverage for that on MSNBC and CNN. But yeah, I do think they tend to they do tend to focus on the negative. Brian,
we have a radio station down here. It's called Talk Radio 1060.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
and it's strictly based on Republican.
Yeah,
it's a Republican-based radio show. You never hear the radio show host Joe Pags?
No, I'm not familiar with him.
He used to be a guy on TV that used to be on CNN and then automatically like switched gears and went to this whole like Republican thing, and he trashes everyone on CNN, and then he started boasting about conspiracy theories on his show. We got another guy down here by the name of Bill Spadia. He's like, he's an anti-masker. He's trying to convince his listeners not to wear a mask, that there's a survival rate of 98.9%, that if you get the virus that you'll survive. And like, I'm sitting back, and then like on that station with that guy, with Bill Spadia, he'll sit back and he'll be the morning show that's talking to all the people, talking about it's day 345 of 15 days to stop the spread. And he does that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll start talking about how like you shouldn't wear a mask, you shouldn't get the vaccine. The vaccine is it's gonna mutate in your body, and you'll have like cancer and all this other stuff. And like, I'm sitting back, I'm like, what program director for this station is allowing this? Because you're feeding. It's almost as bad as what Trump was doing on Twitter, except you're doing it behind a mic.
Yeah.
And like, where is that? Where does that draw a line? And someone say, "Yo, we got to stop this," because if people start believing this stuff, and then people start thinking that we're this type of radio station, we're going to get sued and all these other problems. I just don't understand it, Matt. I don't. And I know you're not like that. I know you're not like that. And it's just the way that people are perceiving their network or their outlet to put out these negative news stories. It's crazy.
There is no, in the example that you're giving though, Tony, there is no line anymore. It's really just a natural progression of where political talk radio was headed anyway. And I say that because, and you know, we've gotten into this a little bit on the show because of the death of Rush Limbaugh has really kind of highlighted this, is that conservative talk radio is what, for example, saved AM radio, and that's obviously an AM station that you're talking about. Were it not for political talk radio, AM probably would have disappeared. So political talk saved it, and conservatives dominate terrestrial radio as far as political talk. There aren't many liberal hosts, or, you know, I know people perceive me as being a liberal because I'm so anti-Trump, but, you know, I consider myself an independent. I'm kind of centrist, but it's dominated by conservatives, and we have seen ideologically this melding, and media plays a role in it. See, this is another one of those chicken or the egg type things. This melding of conservatism, what used to be mainstream conservatism, and conspiracy theorism. And so now, you know, it has become conservative. I mean, polling data shows more than half of Republicans now are sympathetic to the QAnon movement. So all this stuff is melded together. So there is no line anymore. It's not, you're not considered on the fringe of being a conservative if you're an anti-masker. And you're spreading all this nonsense, these conspiracies about vaccines. That's now become mainstream conservatism. So there is no line. It's more. And by the way, if you're a conservative talk show host and you step out of line when it comes to Trump, you figure out pretty quick. Rush Limbaugh is an example. He was anti-Trump at one point, very early on, but he switched as soon as he realized it was going to cost him money. Same with Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck was a never Trumper, but then his business model wasn't holding up, and he had to switch, and he had to switch quick. You know, so there is no line anymore.
It's crazy what talk radio on the political side has turned into.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to tell you, I turn off all these shows.
Yeah.
I just can't listen to it because what it is, it's the same rhetoric, just repeated in a different form every day.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the same thing every day, talking about don't wear a mask, you'll survive this. It's just like the flu. You know, that's what I hear down here. And I just, you know, I used to call into the guy show and bash him, and then I would have all these people that would come in behind me and then start bashing me, and I'm like, wow, I'm outweighed here. You know, I'm outweighed. So that's all I wanted to touch on. You know, it's just, it's just no positive anymore. You know, so that's why I like that song by Theory that you played that day, because it makes so much sense. You know, we're strangers and we're not acting like neighbors no more. You know,
jeez, I might play that. I might play that again today at the end of the show. That'll be a good transition song for the weekly die-on. Yeah,
it makes sense. It's a good song.
Great song.
It speaks volumes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, did you get your second?
All right, man.
Did you get your second shot yet, by the way, or is that still coming?
No, I did.
Oh, you did. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're protected. That's good.
Yeah, I'm good. And they just started lifting bans down here for restaurants and stuff because the rate is starting to come down. So I guess it's working.
Yeah.
I think as of today we have 1.5 million people vaccinated down here right now.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what the rate is, and I think that there's 979,000 second shots has already been administered. So
good
scale. Good scale.
Yeah, I just hope people don't start letting their guard down too soon, too early. But
according to Biden, he's hoping that everything goes back to somewhat normal by Christmas, which isn't. If they get it together, it doesn't seem like it's impossible.
No, I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah. All right, so Tony.
Maybe we'll have a good Christmas. You know.
I hope so. All right.
All right, Matt.
Tony D,
good,
thank you so much for the call, my friend. Take care.
Be good.
Bye-bye. All right, Tony D from Philly. And, of course, the Tony D Show, you can hear every weekend from 5 to 7 p.m. online and where you find all your favorite podcasts as well. It's a great show. Please check it out. Brian Mackey commented in the chat room, negative gives more folks things to argue about. Positive is boring. Well, that's true. I mean, so much of what of the business model of cable news is, you'll very often see two people arguing with each other on cable news. You don't see it as much in political talk radio because so much of it is your typical talk radio show that's political. You'll have a conservative talk show host who only talks to conservative guests and takes calls from conservative listeners. And on the rare occasion that a dissenting voice does get through, they get shouted down and talked over and all that. So it kind of just ends up being a big celebration of groupthink. That's most, not all. I've come across some conservative talk shows over the years that I actually like, but most of it is just a celebration of, yay, we all have the exact same conservative viewpoints. Hooray for us. We all have, it's a hive mind thing. This will probably be our last call of the show because then we got to start to wind down. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, I thought I'd squeeze a call in Eazy-G before you end your show today.
Yes.
Keep forgetting to tell you there's a new food buckets available. They advertise it on the Glenn Beck show on WGIR called MyPatriots.com.
Yes. Conservatives, these conservative hosts, they love their food buckets. Yes, for when the rapture happens.
I was listening to Clyde Lewis. I haven't listened to him in a while. And some lady called up and said, I got your food buckets. He said, I don't want to run out of food. And Clyde Lewis said, oh, great. Thanks for buying them. Oh, God.
Oh, that and gold. They love to shill gold.
Speaking of crazy events, I don't know if you heard the Bob Dole announced that he has stage 4 lung cancer. He's 97.
97. Yep. He's going to fight, though.
That's not good. Those are usually it's a terminal event.
Jimmy Carter beat cancer at 92, I think, 91 or 92. It can
but
be.
I don't think it was stage 4 lung cancer though.
No, that's true. I don't remember what exactly the situation was with Jimmy Carter.
I know that Sharon Dalte has stage 4 breast cancer, so I'm thinking she's not going to make it either, unfortunately.
Who does?
From Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh, Shannon Doherty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, hopefully we'll.
You know what they say?
Prayers.
Cancer sucks.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
But the guy had a good run though. 97 years. That's a long time.
That is a long time. Yeah, Bob Dole.
We haven't really heard a lot from him lately because he's probably been staying home a lot. Be my guess.
Well, the last time we saw him was at the funeral of George H.W. Bush, and he can't walk anymore.
That was a while back.
He's in a wheelchair. They had to lift him up.
If you're listening, Bob Dole, I hope you're better.
I'm assuming Bob Dole.
I don't think he's listening, but you never know.
I don't think Bob Dole listens to my program, but I don't think he'd enjoy it. But yes, thoughts and prayers.
Anyways, I'll let you go. I know you got to wrap up your show and clean everything up for the next show.
That's right. All right, Eazy-G. Thank you for the call. Bye-bye. Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon. I do want to make sure we get in a few of these comments, some great comments in the Facebook live chat on what we've been discussing. Let me go back here. I just want to make sure. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Oh, wow. Okay, Miriam said earlier, this was regarding that article Mike Doyle sent, even if Trump did great things, it does not make up for him putting children in cages, mocking people with disabilities, and demanding the pandemic response team and dismantling the pandemic response team Obama put together. I agree. Tom Blanchard says NASCAR's Mike McDowell first-time win in 14 years. Rocky Huber says, not sticking up for anyone, but Trump wasn't the one who made the cages. If you're going to call Trump out about it, let's call out Obama and then Vice President Biden for making them. Well, I'll tell you this. I've been very critical. And if you're a longtime listener, you know this. I've been very critical of the Obama administration's record on immigration generally. Barack Obama, and this became something Biden had to deal with during the campaign. Obama, not a friend of immigrants, in my view. That's why immigration activists would derisively refer to him as deporter-in-chief. Christian Lacoste says Mike McDowell did not deserve that win. He only won because of the crash. Let's see. Brian Mackey says someday it will be a perfect world and no one will lie, cheat, or make bad decisions until forever. Miriam says, I don't think any politician is trustworthy. Some are better than others, but honestly, Trump made me miss George W. Bush, who was horrible, but not at the extreme Trump has been. I agree. Scott Robinson points out Fox did have Hannity and Combs for a short while, a Republican and a Democrat with different views. That's true. And then Alan Combs, another person we've lost to cancer. Once Alan Combs left the show, that was it. They didn't find a replacement for him. They just decided to let Hannity have the show. Let's see. There's a lot of discussion going on in the chat room. Good stuff, but we can't. We're not gonna have time to get through all these comments. Rob Dion said regarding cable news, I finally had to turn off certain shows at night. All political complaining and COVID doom. All right. On that note, yeah, we'll wrap up. It's almost 20 of, and I know it's a little bit early, but as you know, if you're a regular listener, Thursdays and Fridays, we do wrap up a little bit early because we have live shows immediately following ours, and it is the COVID era, so I need time to clean up and wipe down and so on and so forth. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you, Eazy-G, for his wonderful entertainment report earlier. Thank you to Tony D for calling. Oh, Miriam Banish says, I loved listening to Alan Combs on his radio show a million years ago. You know what? By the way, just a note about that. The thing that was interesting, I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know why, but the other day I was thinking about Alan Combs. And Miriam, you probably remember this since you used to listen to his show. So Alan Combs, his radio show was on the Fox News radio network. And you know what was unique about it, aside from him being one of the few liberal voices who was really well known and syndicated? You know how, like I was saying, on conservative shows, you have a conservative host who only talks to conservative callers, and they just call and agree with the conservative host, and everybody just kind of agrees with each other. You know what happened with Alan Combs' show? Because he would also take live calls from callers. And there are other liberal hosts, by the way, like Arnie Arneson, for example, but she doesn't take calls on her show. Alan Combs would take live calls, but at least half the calls, at least the times that I listened, would be conservatives calling him to insult him and call him a commie or whatever. And but Combs was he was good-natured about it. He would kind of laugh about it and whatnot. But anyway, if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit, WMNHradio.org. And that is it for me for now. Make sure you stick around. The Weekly Don is coming up next. Actually, the guys just entered the room. So what I'll do is we won't wrap up quite yet because I'll give them a chance to plug the show that is coming up. And you don't have to hurry, Ben. You don't have to rush. Jeez. Here, let me pull that mic up though for you there. What's going on, sir?
How's it going?
Good. How are you? Let me adjust this camera. Go ahead and talk. What do you guys have coming up tonight?
Tonight we're going to go and talk about a little bit of the history of Manchester.
Yeah.
And some upcoming projects about Manchester Connects. We're having Matt Lowe on from Manchester Connects.
What is Manchester Connects?
It's hard to describe. It's like a civic nonprofit group of a bunch of different people prominently around Manchester that are basically trying to renovate and improve different things around Manchester. I don't know if you've been down to Arms Park. They did the cornhole. They made cornhole and different seating at Arms Park.
Oh, okay.
And they're basically trying to revitalize different areas of the city.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. That's awesome. And how are you, Daryl?
I believe they're going to attempt to revitalize me as well.
Oh, do you need revitalization?
I may.
Maybe just
You're too far gone.
Take some ginkgo biloba or something. My dad takes that. He's about your age. Why do you need revitalizing?
No, I really don't.
Okay. I was concerned about you. We were worried about you. Maybe.
I feel really good.
Oh, you do?
Really good.
You look awful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, I've upgraded. I started doing 25 sit-ups a day.
Uh-huh.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a great jump start.
Yeah.
And that's been helpful.
Why aren't you doing 26? Don't be such a wuss.
He does update me on when he adds more.
Really?
Yeah. I'm doing 5 more.
Oh.
I'm gonna up at 5 a month.
Now, why don't you? What about human growth hormone or anabolic steroids?
I think that would be bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Well,
me bulked up.
Well, I don't know. And then you could arm wrestle Eazy-G. After COVID.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That would not be fair.
Right.
That'd be quite the event.
How was this Skype?
Yes.
How was this Skype this evening?
Very well. It went well, and
Good.
he actually listened.
Cut it out.
Stop it.
Swear to God.
That's a first.
I know.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's a great improvement.
Yes.
He needs to do that, and if he continues to do it, he'll get better.
Yeah.
Don't give
one other thing.
That much.
He needs to slow down.
Yes.
He just to slow down a little.
Yeah.
He goes way too fast.
Did either of you have any thoughts on the passing of Rush Limbaugh before we go?
I've seen a lot of quotes as of recent about his passing. Basically, like, I don't wish ill upon anyone, but I'm not going to really say anything like I'm sad about it.
Right.
Which are I think are very fitting. But I mean, I don't know.
He had a long career.
That's
about all I got. That's about all I got to say.
Yeah.
Disturbing as it was.
No, there was a miniature controversy on the show about it because Elizabeth Ropp was effectively dancing on his grave.
Okay. Was that yesterday?
Yes,
I heard that. Yeah.
And Eazy-G mentioned he was very upset with that and admonished her for that. And
Well, I got the sense that Eazy-G listened to Rush.
Oh, I don't think so.
Did he know who he was?
I think he did.
I'm pretty sure.
Honestly, some people don't know who he is.
Oh, yeah. No, he knows who he is.
I don't know.
Or who he
someone
was,
of 18 million listeners.
Yes.
Big crowd.
Yes.
That's right. Yes.
Bye-bye.
And I'd like to thank you for your never-ending support of the new Black Panthers and for Acorn.
On that note, all right. Well, I was just curious to get your
Thanks,
thoughts.
Matt.
Yeah,
Thanks, Matt.
no problem.
I needed that.
All right, make sure y'all stick around for the weekly die-on coming up next live here from WMNH. And if you did miss any part of today's show, it will be up on the site at WMNHradio.org in just a little bit. And I am going to, as inspired by Tony D, I'm going to close with this great track, Strangers by Theory. And I will talk at y'all tomorrow.